Hi, we're at Global Pet Foods on Bloor on Sunday, October 19th, and the Annex Cat Rescue is here with several of their kittens and their cats. And this is Navjeet, and she is actually a volunteer for the organization. And my name is Jane Bergman, and I'm interviewing her about feral cats. We're going to have just a brief discussion on feral animals. And so I guess the first question I have for you, Navjeet, is what is Annex Cat Rescue's mission?
Okay, so there are a number of different rescues that are out there in Toronto doing some very similar things. Where we differ a little bit is that we tend to take care of a lot of feral cats, which is kind of what you're focusing on today.
Exactly.
So basically our mission is to help care for those cats that are out there right now, living on the streets without people who are taking care of them. So those are what we consider community cats. We go out there and we get volunteers to regularly feed them and care for them. So occasionally we'll have a set of cats that are living out there that we've seen for a year, and all of a sudden one of them shows up with maybe a limp. We'll try to humanely get that cat off the street into the vet, get them cared for, and then get them back into their home. So we're taking care of a lot of those street cats, and if we can, we'll also get any that we can take off the streets and put them into our foster program, find them a forever home.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'd like to ask you what the word feral means.
So for us, feral is basically any cat that is living out amongst other cats, hasn't had any human contact, basically any cat that is living on the streets.
Okay, great. And would you know approximately how many feral cats there are living in Toronto?
The numbers vary a lot depending on who's caring for them. We can tend to get the numbers down as we do TNR, which is trap, neuter, release. But there are a number of cats that are out there. I don't know the exact figure, but it actually ranges from the thousands, really. They're kind of just hidden around places you would never really think of.
Okay, and what resources exist right now to help them, the feral cats?
Really, it's a lot of rescue groups that are out there doing what we're doing type of thing. People in the community as well. A lot of them do take ownership over community cats. So if you're living in an area where you have outdoor cats, that maybe your neighbor has an outdoor cat, and then all of a sudden it has a litter of kittens that end up living in the backyard. A lot of people do take ownership over those types of cats and help care for them because they know that it is a problem that we actually contribute to. So other than actual rescues that are out there doing what they're doing, Humane Society, for example, is another resource. They offer spay-neuter costs at very low cost for ferals so that we can help break the cycle. But otherwise, it's really community members out there doing their individual efforts as well. Right.
And how does the ACR tackle feral cats by working alongside other organizations?
There's actually a coalition. Every so often there's a group of volunteers that get together to talk about the feral population and different efforts. We kind of try to coordinate who's working in what area so that no two groups are really kind of focusing on one area. We can spread out the resources that we do have into as many areas as possible. And the great thing is we have the Humane Society helping us with those low-cost spays and neuters. So we really try to work together. Everybody who's out there helping cats is really wanting to help as many as they can.
And can feral cats be socialized? I guess I'm interested in knowing, can we adopt feral cats?
Absolutely. So it's much easier for us if we can get them when they're younger. So there's something that we consider kitten season when cats outdoors naturally reproduce, which is usually spring, summer season. So if we can, we try to stop the cycle very early by humanely trapping the very, very young ones. So they tend to have very feral instincts from a very young age, as even as early as 8 weeks. They tend to be have an aversion to humans. So if we can get them at that age, it's faster for us to get them back into a foster home. But older cats can sometimes be rehabilitated as well. But we have really unique volunteers who help us socialize these feral cats.
And that's a question we're interested in knowing is, what is the process of socialization and fostering of feral kittens?
Yeah. It's different for everyone and for every cat, but the idea is basically we need to work with them slowly to help build trust with people. There's a lot of behaviorists, so people who study these types of science, and it's done in kind of any animal too, to really try to understand what the cat is feeling and how they understand things and how they see the world, and working with them to create that trust, that bond, to help them find a forever home, just keep them off the streets.
Okay, and at what age do feral kittens get spayed or neutered?
So when they're in a rescue program,
Yeah.
they tend to get spayed and neutered at a very young age, even as early as 8 weeks old.
Wow.
Yeah, so we really want to take the responsibility for making sure that the cycle is broken. Spaying and neutering your pets is something that we advocate to any pet owner, but we have the option of with the costs that we have, the funds that we make, the volunteers that we have, and the relationships we have with vet clinics and the THS, to do it at its special discounted rates as well. Part of the adoption fee will go back into spaying and neutering more animals, but we do it at a pretty young age so that there isn't any risk to increasing the numbers again.
That's amazing. What do you think the best strategy is for controlling the feral cat population?
It's multifaceted for sure. Spay neuter is one of our big, pretty much our number one way to control the population, if we can just stop the repopulation of these types of cats, but really getting the community involved and helping us care for them as well. So watching when a new cat shows up when kittens are born, so we can figure out where the problem is, even taking care of the ones that maybe we can't get to, just making sure that they are having an okay life as well.
And do feral kittens require special attention after they're being adopted?
I mean, it really depends on the cat and the type of experience they had. Some of them are very afraid of people, so maybe they'd only be good with a very calm, patient person. Other cats, once they're introduced to maybe a really friendly dog, they kind of latch onto that energy and they're great. So it really depends on the cat.
Okay, so why would you say now, Jade, that feral cats are a community problem?
Well, it's definitely humans that were involved with creating the problem in the first place. A lot of it is our own individual pets that we kept. And maybe we keep outdoor cats, but we didn't spay and neuter. Some people do have that belief of not spaying and neutering their pets, which it does contribute to the feral population. So that's why we think it's a community issue, because it is us that are directly involved in creating the problem. So it should be us that's directly involved in helping make a solution for the problem.
Great. Yeah. Thanks so much for taking the time to answer my questions. I know it's a busy morning for you, and we really appreciate your feedback.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.